The starship Starlancer drifted silently through the vastness of space, its sleek hull reflecting the distant glow of millions of stars. Captain Iris stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the dark expanse, while her trusted Lieutenant Maro was busy monitoring the ship's instruments. Then suddenly a faint beeping sound broke the silence. It was a signal, one they had never encountered before. It echoed through the speakers, repeating over and over, like a voice from a distant past calling out across the cosmos. The signal was coming from the Andromeda galaxy. Despite its age, there was urgency in its tone, like a cry for help that refused to be silenced. Captain Iris turned to Maro. "Set a course for the source of that signal," she commanded. "We're going to find out who's out there." Maro nodded, his fingers flying over the controls as the Starlancer shifted direction, speeding toward the heart of Andromeda. The journey took hours, but they couldn't shake the feeling that something was waiting for them. Something that had been waiting a very long time. As they drew closer, the source of the signal came into view, an enormous, derelict space station, hovering lifelessly amidst the stars. It looked ancient, its metal surface scarred and pitted by countless meteor strikes, and faint lights flickered weakly from within, as if the station itself was on the verge of giving up. But it hadn't. It was still there, still sending out its desperate message. Captain Iris and Lieutenant Maro docked the Starlancer and stepped inside. The air was stale, and their footsteps echoed in the silence. The station's walls were covered in strange alien symbols, their meaning long lost to time. Every step they took seemed to draw them deeper into a forgotten past, and yet they felt an undeniable pull forward, as if the station was guiding them to its heart. What could have happened here? What force could have left such a massive structure to drift alone in the dark? Suddenly, the silence was shattered by a flickering light. A hologram sprang to life before them, and there stood a tall, humanoid figure with eyes that glowed faintly in the dim light. Its voice crackled with static, but the urgency was unmistakable. "If you can hear this," it said, "our world is gone. A darkness came, devouring the light of our stars, feeding on our energy until nothing remained. This station was our last hope, a warning to those who might come after us." Captain Iris felt a chill run down her spine. "What is this darkness?" she asked, but the figure continued as if it couldn't hear her. "The core," the alien said. "It's the only thing left. It holds the light that the darkness fears. You must take it before it finds you too." And with that, the hologram faded, leaving the room in darkness once more. The only sound was the faint hum of energy coming from deep within the station. "We need to find that core," Maro said, his voice tinged with fear. "Whatever it is, it's our only chance." Captain Iris nodded, steeling herself. They had a mission now, and failure was not an option. They moved quickly, guided by the faint glow that seemed to pulse in time with their footsteps. But something was following them. The darkness the alien had warned about was creeping through the station, sliding along the walls like a living shadow. It was silent, but they could feel it drawing closer, its hunger palpable. At last they reached the core chamber, and there it was, a pulsating orb of light, radiating warmth and energy like a miniature sun suspended in midair. It was beautiful, and for a moment Captain Iris forgot all about the darkness, but then it struck. A shadowy tendril shot forward, wrapping around her leg, and she could feel its cold touch sapping the strength from her body. "Get the core!" she shouted to Maro, who was already moving. He reached out, his hand trembling, and as soon as he touched it, the orb pulsed brighter, sending a shockwave through the station. The darkness recoiled, retreating into the shadows, but Captain Iris knew it wouldn't be gone for long. They had to get out of there, now. They ran through the station's corridors, the core cradled carefully in Maro's arms. But the darkness wasn't finished with them. It chased them, relentless, growing stronger as they drew closer to the docking bay. They could feel it closing in, could hear the whispers of countless voices lost to the void, begging to be released. Back aboard the Starlancer, they connected the core to the ship's power systems, and the entire vessel hummed with energy, but the darkness latched onto the hull, refusing to let go. It wrapped around the ship like a massive serpent, squeezing, trying to drag them back into the void. Maro struggled with the controls, his hands shaking as he tried to channel the core's energy through the ship's systems. "Come on," Captain Iris muttered under her breath. "Come on, don't let it end here." And then, Just as it seemed the darkness would swallow them whole, the core blazed to life, flooding the ship with a light so bright it cut through the blackness like a knife. The darkness screamed, retreating into the void, and then it was gone. The Starlancer floated in the silent, empty space, bathed in the warm glow of the core. Maro let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding, and Captain Iris allowed herself a small, relieved smile. But before they could say anything, the core projected one last image, the alien figure standing before them once more. "Thank you," it said. "You have done more than save our station. You have given hope to countless others. Carry our light with you, and let it shine in the darkness. Protect the stars." And with that, the figure faded, leaving them alone once more. Captain Iris turned to Maro, a new sense of purpose in her eyes. "Set a course," she said, "for the next adventure." And as the Starlancer moved forward, the light from the core continued to shine, cutting a path through the darkness of space, reminding them that no matter how far they traveled, they would never be alone.